John Harbaugh sought to commend Lamar Chase on his impressive performance Thursday night.
"I was looking for him after the game, and I couldn't find him,"
the Baltimore Ravens coach admitted after a narrow 35-34 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. Harbaugh's lighthearted remark evoked laughter from the press, but it underscored a severe concern: Baltimore's defensive struggles. Despite their 7-win record and potent offense averaging a remarkable 7.13 yards per play, the Ravens' defense showed worrying signs. Chase torched Baltimore's secondary with 11 catches for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns, exploiting a defense already ranked last in the league in pass coverage. Quarterback Joe Burrow racked up 428 passing yards, including a 67- and 70-yard touchdown to Chase, exposing Baltimore's vulnerability in the secondary. This performance marked the Ravens' worst defensive showing of the season, as the Bengals amassed 421 passing yards and 4 red zone touchdowns. Namdi Madubuike, a Ravens defensive tackle, expressed disappointment with their performance, acknowledging the need for improvement.
"We're going to find ways in practice to get better, and I know everyone in that locker room feels the same way,"
he said. Yet the night's lapses felt symptomatic of a more persistent issue. The Ravens' defense gave up critical penalties, such as a 4th-and-goal defensive hold by cornerback Brandon Stephens, which extended a Bengals drive that led to a touchdown. Stephens also struggled with his assignments, narrowly missing an interception and failing to contain Chase on his 70-yard touchdown. Stephens admitted,
"We can't afford mistakes or lapses in coverage. They're costing us big plays."
Baltimore's defense faces growing scrutiny after multiple close calls this season, which reflect a trend of last-minute defensive lapses. Critical injuries, like the ankle sprain sustained by All-Pro safety Kyle Hamilton, only add to the pressure. However, Harbaugh was optimistic that Hamilton's injury wasn't severe, though the defense's structural issues remain. Baltimore's upcoming matchups against more formidable defensive teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers and Los Angeles Chargers, could expose these weaknesses further, especially given their inability to contain high-powered offenses consistently. The defensive decline has been compounded by significant turnover in Baltimore's staff and roster. New defensive coordinator Zach Orr, who replaced Mike Macdonald, has been tasked with reassembling a unit that led the league in points allowed last year, but lost several key players to free agency. Still, there were bright spots on Thursday. Madubuike was relentless, sacking Burrow 3 times, while cornerback Marlon Humphrey's timely strip fumble set up a crucial touchdown that fueled Baltimore's comeback from a 21-7 deficit. And in the game's final minute, the Ravens' defense held firm as Cincinnati's 2-point conversion attempt fell short, preserving the narrow win. Despite these glimmers of hope, Harbaugh knows that for Baltimore to contend with elite teams like Kansas City, they must address their defensive lapses. As the Ravens push to surpass the Steelers in the division, Harbaugh emphasized the need for a higher standard.
"We have to be much better," he stated. "We have to take pressure off our offense, too. We're required to do that on the defensive side."
The Ravens' resilience and late-game grit are undeniable, but their defensive inconsistency remains an obstacle in their quest for a Super Bowl title. For Baltimore, those final moments against the Bengals were a reminder: to make it to the season's biggest stage, they'll need to tighten up, stay disciplined, and ensure the defense complements their high-powered offense.